uninhabitable.
These problems, you continued to live there.
I did, because I was asking them to fix them.
Yes.
And
yes, you were able to resolve the problems.
They were cited by the city for code violations.
And what date was that?
That was 2019, January.
You let all this time go by.
I was told
and
it was
now
fixed.
it would seem that it's convenient for you to say, well, I don't owe you 4 months' rent because of all these problems in the past.
I understand what you're saying, Your Honor. I did not have the means to pay, and so in addition...
You were locked into a situation. I think we should open it up.
I have a few questions. So you do admit, obviously, not paying rent from
Correct.
December to March.
Correct.
Do you concede not paying any utilities during that time either?
No, utilities.
All right.
Correct.
You mentioned a text from her husband that you were going to show us. I think that's your exhibit, right?
That's correct. It says email sent by okay.
Is that your exhibit I?
Correct.
When did you send that?
I would say that was the year...
You should have it in your phone, right?
I do.
Okay, because you said you discovered mice in 2019, and the last time you saw mice was December 23. When was that text?
Let me just pull up his name.
While she's looking, I just want to state an exhibit about a text that my husband sent. He sent several texts to her. One was several options of other places to live for less rent. He was suggesting to look at different places. And then we received a text from Michelle saying, by the way, I found a resident. Would you mind giving me a good review so that I can move as soon as possible? She already owed so much back rent, and we just looked at each other and go, how could we possibly give her a good review and send her off to another landlord that she could do the same to?
Yeah, do you have
I'm looking for that text. You know what, they told me not to, I printed the text out.
What date do you think it is? What year?
2020, I would say. And what happened was I pulled the dishwasher out, and there's like a felty covering over it, and they had been nesting in there, and it was full of feces. So I shot a picture and sent it to Carl, and he said, well, you should charge him
Why
rent.
didn't you have that text for us? I don't understand.
I printed it out.
I'm actually really surprised that we never heard about this.
Do we have a picture?
We've never heard about this.
The text is right there, though.
No, that had to be recent when we were talking about the rodent people came. Why didn't you show them this nest?
I did.
Because this is why we kept calling that. Like
the third time. The time that I took the picture of the top of the dishwasher was the second infestation. They didn't send a professional out until 2024.
So let me ask you. Okay, hold on. Let me ask you another question. What happened with the flooding?
So the deck was not installed properly, and it rained in my garage and ruined everything.
Do you have photographs of that?
Yes, I do.
Is that Exhibit C? Yeah.
Page 12 through 14.
And these are photographs of the rain damage?
That's after my insurance company came and removed all my belongings out. But you can see the rain running down the walls and the wet garage floor on this one here. It's soaking wet. And also...
And you made an insurance claim.
I did.
And you were reimbursed.
I was.
And it was fixed.
But no, it wasn't fixed, though, because they had the gardener pour tar and tie. I have a picture on...
Wait. But you made an insurance claim, and you were reimbursed.
This is what he did.
But I don't care about that. What I'm talking about is you got your stuff and your reimbursement.
My stuff is all destroyed.
Okay, but you got reimbursed for it.
But it was irreplaceable. So I got money.
What was irreplaceable?
Wedding photos, all family photos, documentation, birth certificates.
And insurance reimbursed you what was appropriate for that?
Correct. 50 cents a piece of paper.
All right.
All right, are we good? Thank you both very much. We'll excuse you while we deliberate in this case.
Ms. Schnockenberg, Ms. Goodman, we have come to a unanimous verdict. Ms. Goodman, you just can't not pay rent. We believe that you didn't pay rent because you didn't have the money. It wasn't because you were in protest of what was going on at the time. You clearly just didn't pay the rent. If you had the rent, like Judge Juarez pointed out earlier, you would have paid into an escrow saying, hey, I have the rent money, I just am not going to pay rent because of all these issues. You lived there for 7 years, so I would have expected more correspondence about these issues with the plaintiffs. We just didn't have that. You admitted to not paying rent between the months of December of 23 to March 24, and also not paying the utilities. Ms. Schnockenberg, you did prove these things weren't paid for, as well as the late fees, which you could have charged the defendant more in the past, but you didn't. So the verdict is in favor of you for the full amount of $5,000. Good luck to the both of you.
Thank you.
No.